In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, there's one Pokemon that I would say is the best Tera Pokemon of all time right now, and it's none other than Heatran. Weirdly enough, a lot of people might say this is something like Dragonite or Fluttermane, but Heatran is one of the highest and most versatile Tera ceilings currently in all of VGC. And today, I want to use one of its best Tera types, being Tera Grass Heatran, to show why this is not only a great offensive option for Heatran, but also a great defensive one. If you guys enjoy, of course, and you want to see more content like this, like and subscribe for more. And with that said, let's break down the team we're using today. So the team that we're using today is none other than Hummus's Chile International Champion team, which consists of Zapdos with Rocky Helmet, Urshifu with Mystic Water, Landorus with Assault Vest and Tera Flying, which gives it a really good offensive mode in the bulkier setting, which is great for checking mons like Fluttermane and other good special threats. We have a Meadow Plate Rillaboom, which is great for dealing damage while also giving good fake out support and even bluffing Assault Vest thanks to its 4 top offensive moves. We have a Tera Grass Heatran with Earth Power, Heat Wave, Flash Cannon, and Protect, which helps a lot with matchups like Urshifu, but also is great for just taking on a lot of the metagame. Most viable Pokemon don't really like taking on Tera Grass Heatran due to the fact that Flash Fire helps so well defensively, and it's kind of like how Ceruledge was in Series 1 as like a niche Pokemon, but on a Pokemon that has an actually really strong base typing and a really good set of coverage moves with Earth Power, Heat Wave, and Flash Cannon hitting so many viable things left. Finally, we do have Fluttermane, which helps take advantage of not only the Tailwind that Zapdos can set, but it's also just a great Pokemon to throw on a team, and in my opinion, it's one of the best partners you could throw on with Heatran due to the fact that it can help limit a lot of the options for not having to Tera Heatran, since you do handle most things that would actually force you into Tera. The rental code's going to be on screen here, and the paste will be down below. With that said, though, let's get into the team for today. And we are here with our first game. Now, I will say the goal today, I don't know if I mentioned this in the intro or not, the goal for today is to try and hit a rating that is better than my good pal Owen, aka OG Alpina. If I didn't mention it in the intro, we're gonna, obviously, I'll put his stuff right here. I'm not gonna put it in the intro, but look on his stuff. He's been getting into the VGC, he's a good pal of mine. Completely unrelated, I know. It's not even his team that I'm using, though. I might ask him for that for a video. Regardless, though, we're taking on a pretty noteworthy team. This team got top 16 at Worlds, I believe. I remember the Hisui Arcanine for sure on one of the VGC-based rentals. Now, I will say, so I definitely don't like the Zap here, but Zap isn't terrible for their Rillaboom. And Tera Steel could be okay, I guess. It could be a decent lure, actually. I might bring the Zap, but I'd probably use it as like a backliner switch in. I definitely do like the Rillaboom on lead. I think Rillaboom actually will be a very terrifying lead. Especially like a Rillaboom Heatran lead, I think could put up a lot of offensive pressure, allowing Heatran to maybe then go for like a defensive Tera or even just switching into the Landorus. I think I'm going to bench my own Urshifu and my own Fluttermane for that matter, which sounds kind of weird, but when we think about it, so I have Landorus, which can be my check to any sort of Hisui Arcanine, and that's really the only mon I would probably use Urshifu for in this team, specifically because I don't anticipate getting up Tailwind. I might get up Tailwind, frankly, but I'm not counting on it. Meanwhile, Fluttermane isn't bad by any means, but Fluttermane will have an issue if I don't get up Tailwind, and again, I think that they'll have a lot better of a time here. I could have maybe let off with like a Zapdos Rillaboom lead. The issue being with that, though, is that I feel like Zapdos Rillaboom just gets out-led by most things. They lead Pow Urshifu, for example. Now, Zapdos Rillaboom was definitely not beating that. However, if I go for the potential fake out into Rillaboom, I could actually get some pretty good mileage out of here with Heatran and Rillaboom, and I think that will be a lot better offensive pressure. I could use this turn actually to try and force my opponent into a pretty shitty situation by maybe going for like a fake out this turn. Well, not a fake out, protect this turn. What I think I'll do actually is I think I'm going to go for a drum beating into the Urshifu, and then I think I'm going to go for a Heat Wave with Tera Grass. I kind of like the idea of going for Tera Grass and Heat Wave. I could also maybe just U-turn in the Pao, but I do think that Pao probably protects to preserve itself. And going for Tera Grass at least does help with preserving Shifu, and in case my opponent doesn't protect, I could still damage that Pao for sure, so it's not an entirely lost turn, even if I overpredicted a bit, because at least Pao will be brought down to Focus Sash, and that will actually be pretty worth it. Now, not tearing the Landorus will be a little bit difficult, but that's kind of something I had to sign on for, not leaning Landorus here, and I can't safely switch it in against this particular core, so I'm okay with that. Honestly, Tera Flying Landorus isn't really the best in this matchup. I'd probably honestly prefer the ground typing right now, considering they do have a Hisui Arcanine, which can pretty safely Rock Slide us. They are going to actually protect Urshifu. That's still fine in all honesty. They are going to probably go for Spinner into something. Oh, they're going to go for Crash. Okay, Crash is still fine. It's definitely terrifying losing my Rillaboom this early on. But getting the Heat Wave off onto the Pao, especially if that's a Life Orb Pao, which I think it might be on the Steam. Yeah, it's Life Orb Pao on Steam. Perfect. Okay, I called that right. Heat Wave should be good damage, and that'll kill the Pao at the very least, which is really threatening to my team. So, honestly, I'm okay with killing Pao. That makes Urshifu a lot more manageable, and while I'm not exactly keen on going with no Rillaboom here, it could definitely be worse. Now I'm going to go into Landorus, and then I'm going to switch out immediately into Zapdos no matter what. They do proceed to bring in Hisui Arcanine, that's fine. We're going to get the Intimidate off. That should help a lot with the damage from both these Pokemon. They both are really terrifying threats, to be fair, especially the fact that they have not revealed Tera could definitely pose some issues, but thankfully I'll have my Zapdos in the back, which could at least be good for Urshifu, especially since I do anticipate Urshifu will target into the Landorus spot, and then meanwhile Arcanine will probably go for Rock Slide or maybe the E-Speed here. I think that my play should always be to go for the Earth Power into Arcanine. Even if they do go for Tera, honestly this is a pretty fine play, because Urshifu won't exactly deal good damage to me, and this is still at least a neutral attack at worst into any common Arcanine Tera type, and at best it's still super effective if they're going for like a Tera Rock to boost Rock Slide damage. So I'm pretty okay with this play. The Tera is pretty obvious in the Arcanine spot, to be fair. There's no way they're Teraing Urshifu here, because Urshifu would actually be a pretty bad Tera. They are going to Tera Arcanine into normal. Okay, so yeah, it's the worst case scenario, I guess, which is still a neutral Tera. They weren't going for something like a Tera Flying on this mon. I refuse to believe Arcanine has evolved that much, especially on a stolen rental. They're going to Surging Strike's perfect. Okay, so Urshifu is at least still getting damage done, which is great. That's very fine for me. Especially because we could still also fish for Static Para. And if we get that Static Para, that's even bigger, in all honesty, because that's now a mon that's completely neutralized speed-wise that otherwise could maybe been threatening. We do hit 3 times, and any Para? No Para, wow. Okay, well, my opponent forgot about Flash Fire, or maybe they were scouting Flame Body, I guess, which is either way, that's kind of funny, but it's just something to keep in mind, obviously. Okay, so we get a Spit F drop. That's actually pretty good. That's actually a really huge deal. Now, my Zapdos probably doesn't outpace them, but I'm okay with that. Just in case, I am going to go for a Tailwind here. Tailwind should help a little bit with the Flutter Mane endgame, as well as just maybe in case if Urshifu doesn't have Scarf. I don't really see Zapdos staying alive past his turn, frankly. I'm going to go for Heat Wave, though, just to be safe. They're probably going to target the Zapdos with the... If I had to guess with the Arcanine, no, they're going to go for it with the Urshifu. So they're putting themselves in Heat Wave range, which is actually really good for me. I'm pretty okay with this, actually, because the Arcanine, no matter what it's going for, will not deal real damage. Again, I'm pretty sure this is Banded Arcanine anyway, and it's boosted my attacks with Flash Fire, and it can't really damage me if that is Banded Arcanine, so I'm very fine with this position, actually. Yep, they are locked in. I wonder if the second time, either A, they're negligent, or B, they're anticipating Landorus, which either way, it's fine for me. The Heatran's definitely popping off. I might need to change my thumbnail for this bit at this rate. But Heatran just had a really good matchup to be fair into this team. As I said, I feel confident in the Heatran Tera, despite the fact that Landorus could have also done similar work with the Tera. The issue being is the Arcanine, and I couldn't really safely clear that without Heatran Terraing. So I'm pretty okay with this. The endgame with Lando and Heatran should be pretty hard to manage for them, actually. They do have Rillaboom as their last mon. Now, my Landers will be pretty useless into this, but thankfully my Heatran just murders this thing, because they don't have a Tera that they can use to get out of this defensively speaking. And frankly, even still, with the minus attack, I can actually probably just go for U-turn and then go for a Heat Wave here and just guarantee the game. There's no way, yeah, either way, this is fine, honestly. Landers will still probably do about half. Just under. Okay, that's probably a really bulky Rillaboom to be fair, but even if it wasn't, again, like, this damage was guaranteed to kill. And frankly, all I need to do now is just go for the U-turn plus Flash Cannon even would actually guarantee it, because of the play that they made, which, not that they had a good play to be fair, because if they didn't go for Fake Out that turn, the game ended on that turn. So I won't act like they had a super good play there. They were always losing this. But honestly, I'm just glad that we don't get another game that prematurely ended like yesterday, how a majority of our games ended prematurely. So we'll take that. We're 1-0 to start the day. Really strong game, too. I feel like for a game that I'm not super confident in that matchup, that team is always really terrifying to play against for me. And for the fact that I'm not too comfortable against Hisui Arcanine, really, it's just not a mon I know a lot of my calcs into, I'll take how I played into that. I think it was really good. Hopefully we'll continue the progress up in game number 2. Peace out, guys. Okay, moving on to game number 2, we're taking on a team consisting of Iron Hands, Amoonguss, Tornadus, Urshifu, Regidrago, and Flutter Mane. I'm definitely anticipating probably the Regidrago plus Torn lead. That's a really common lead with these sort of archetypes. They're definitely not leading off with Amoonguss, that's for sure. Amoonguss, I don't even think actually comes into this team because I have such a good matchup into it, barring, I guess, Urshifu, which I also don't like the Urshifu matchup this game. Again, Urshifu just doesn't do a lot here. Now, I will say I do like the Flutter Mane matchup a lot more, and I think this will be a game where I probably bench... I want to say that I bench either Heatran or Lando. Wow, I'm really going to need to change my thumbnail. I really thought I'd be banking off of Lando for the win con here. But one thing I do like a lot, though, is the Zapdos plus... Honestly, probably Zapdos plus Heatran on lead could be pretty good, or maybe Zapdos plus Flutter Mane. I'll go with Zapdos Flutter. No, I'll go with Zapdos Heatran. Actually, I'm gonna go with Rillaboom plus Zapdos. Rillaboom should help guarantee a Fake Out off by targeting the partner spot, which helps me at least keep a Tailwind advantage, allowing my Flutter Mane and my Heatran to actually do a lot more work here. Lando's definitely not bad by any means. I do like Lando a lot, actually, but I just feel like I need Heatran more for the Regidrago, because it's kind of just one of those mons that you really do need to just deem your targets into, because usually they're tailored for the fairy on the team, which is almost always Flutter Mane. If they're for some reason not carrying Tera Blast, then I kind of choked by not bringing Lando, but I'm going to assume they're bringing Tera Blast, Steel, a Dragon move, Earth Power, and then either a second Dragon move or Protect. That's almost always what they run, and I don't really feel confident in gambling that either, because again, it's a really safe core for them to go with. Now, I'm just going to go for Fake Out into that Urshifu. Again, it's a no drawback play. I don't really need to respect the Torn at all here, frankly. And then I can just go for a Tailwind this turn, because getting up the Tailwind, keeping up my speed advantage will be pretty valuable. And on the following turn, I can actually just target right into Urshifu. If they're going to go for Detect, that's fine. Even if they go for Detect next turn, that's also fine, because my play will always be Drum Beating into the Urshifu spot, and then go for like a Thunderbolt into the Torn spot, which should be a lot more beneficial for me in my opinion. They are going to Tera here. I'm curious if that's the Urshifu. And the only reason I ask is because I'm curious if they Tera Ghost. No, they Tera Fire. Okay. That's a lot more reasonable. And I only mentioned that actually because I had a rental I was using the other day that had Tera Ghost Urshifu on it. Just was casually playing off channel for it. And I was like, you know, Tera Ghost Urshifu is actually kind of scary into these Torn cores, because especially in closed sheet, and it's not that bad in open sheet, but in closed sheet it does help a lot with this sort of lead, because it's usually a pretty brain dead lead, where you could typically, a lot of teams have opted to just start Fake Outing Urshifu, because why Fake Out the Torn? It's almost always Covert Cloak. But on closed sheet though, if you had that Tera Ghost and just not revealed it, that's a really good advantage you start keeping up. So I did like that adaptation a lot. I was just kind of curious if they were running it. We're gonna Thunderbolt into the Torn though, and then I think I'm just gonna go for the U-turn. In all honesty, let me double check their mons real quick. So let's see. So yeah, there's not really anything else I need this for besides I guess Fake Outing into Regidrago. I'll go for a U-turn here and just try and pivot into something better. Frankly, I'm sure that my Rillaboom is one of, if not the slowest mon on the field, and if they're going to go for Tera Fire, I'm assuming that's specifically either a defensive play against Drum Beating, or they get Tera Blast. They do have Tera Blast, that's fine. If they're really targeting my Rillaboom like that, that's so much better for me, because again, I could just pretty safely bring in a more useful mon. They don't even kill. To be fair, the Bleak Wind Miss actually probably hurt a lot there. But they still did not kill, which is perfect. We've killed their Zapdos, we've killed their Torn, which is great. That's their Tailwind mon gone. Meanwhile, I still have mine around pretty comfortably, and I can pivot out, and I get another Fake Out turn with this, which is really actually pretty incredible. I don't think I needed it, to be fair, but it's pretty helpful having that, I will say. I'm gonna go right into Heatran, and we're honestly just gonna Tera again. I 100% have to redo my thumbnail for this video, because we're gonna have to go with Tera Grass Heatran, which is fine. I finally fucking figured out how to get the Tera looking good. But yeah, Heatran's just such a menace. It's so fucking good in this format. And I like it a lot with Rillaboom. And honestly, it's one of the few mons I like with Zapdos too. Zapdos is in general also a mon I kind of want to show off for a bit. They're going to bring in Regidrago. Okay, so Regidrago does actually make this turn a little bit problematic, but it's not a huge deal. What I can proceed to do, I can actually go for a Hurricane right into the Regidrago, get some good chip off. And then I think I am going to go for Tera Grass, and I'm going to go for... I think I'm just going to go for an Earth Power into the Urshifu. How fast is my Heatran? It's not fast enough. It's never fast enough is the answer. Yeah, we're just gonna go for that into Urshifu. I think there's a good chance that Urshifu detects for the record, but I do need to kind of still respect it anyway. I actually probably should have just targeted Regidrago with this and probably went for like a Flash Cannon into that, because Urshifu actually wouldn't have been able to touch me while in close combat. To be fair, actually, Urshifu is still kind of threatening into my backline, and especially since I've already burned Tera, I'm actually not too scared of the Regidrago anymore. Perfect. Okay, so they went for Dragon Energy. They didn't actually kill either way. They're going to take helmet damage on that Urshifu now. And I could bring in the Flutter Mane actually next turn. Now that I've killed Urshifu, I do have Protect back on the field. So this actually does kind of help a bit, I will say. I could also just Fake Out into Regidrago and then kill the partner slot most likely. That is definitely a play that I could make. I might consider that actually. That could be kind of viable. But we've killed the Urshifu either way. And the fact that they don't have Tera Blast as an option on Regidrago means that my Flutter Mane is a real check to this thing. So I guess I actually did probably make the right play, because they could have Aqua Jetted me pretty freely and maybe revenge off Flutter Mane that way. and that could have been kind of terrifying. We're gonna bring in the... I'm actually gonna bring in my Flutter Mane either way. Flutter Mane is always the play here. They're gonna bring in their own Flutter Mane. That's fine. I'm pretty okay with this actually. Now I will say, how fast is our Flutter Mane? Because that could be kind of a problem. We're modest. Ooh, that could be ugly. That could be ugly. We're kind of fast modest though, to be fair. Like faster than I usually am. But this still could be kind of an ugly turn. We're gonna go with Gleam here though. And I'm gonna go for a Protect. I want to try and take advantage a little bit more of this turn. If their choice Regidrago, that's fine. They can't actually switch it out anymore. I'm really hoping that they go for just a not Shadow Ball this turn. They go for Shadow Ball. Ooh, okay, that's kind of ugly. Oh, they kill. Okay, that's really unfortunate. That does mean that their Regidrago is probably pretty slow though. Their Life Orb Flutter Mane. Okay. It's a really weird way to run Flutter Mane these days, but like I get it. Okay. Yeah, that could be kind of scary actually. That might actually be the thing that does this in, I can't lie. Now I can definitely fake out the Regidrago, stop it from doing anything for a turn, and then go for Heat Wave. That'll get enough chip on the Regidrago this turn. And not only that, but it also helps with just trying to allow a turn to just kill the Flutter Mane. Well, we won't kill the Flutter Mane. I might need to fake it. Well, no, I definitely can't fake out into that for the record. I have to fake out Regidrago, and then I have to go for Heat Wave here. I could actually go for Flash Cannon. No, I need to go for Heat Wave. Do I? Okay, so I'm in kind of a pickle, actually. I'm gonna go for the Heat Wave. I'm gonna trust my gut. Because at least getting off like a burn, for example, could be kind of decent. I don't kill Flutter Mane, I think, either way, to be honest. I know that, yeah, okay. So I definitely was never winning this. I feel pretty confident in that. Unfortunate for sure. I don't think, for the record, though, that even if I went with a Fake Out last turn, that I would have been fine. Because I think Regidrago would have still done too much damage making this play last turn anyway. And yeah, I mean, honestly, Flutter Mane could have still been kind of a problem regardless of how I made that play. Even if I went for like a Flash Cannon into that, and I think I would have still needed to win a speed tie, which was not great for me. I think Rillaboom was still the better option for the record, but I don't think I had a good chance at winning this either way. I'm just going to Heat Wave just so my opponent can finish me off, let them get the kill. But definitely unfortunate. It's okay though, we'll bounce back next game. I still feel confident. My opponent just played better than I did, I think. Well, I don't know if it was played better. I don't think either of us played super bad. I think I made a little bit of an unoptimal play, but it happens. I don't think I played it perfect, but I think we both played it fine. Regardless though, we're going to see you guys in the next match though. Peace out, guys. And we are back for what will probably be our final game of the day. We're actually taking on a pretty interesting team. This team ended up getting, I believe, 5th overall out Worlds. So I do have the team definitely in my builder. It's on my phone in my builder, actually. Okay. Well, regardless, I know the team pretty inside and out. Actually, I've laddered this one a good bit, and I'm pretty sure it's still on VGC pace anyway, just so we can have it for our knowledge. But this was the Sempra Rain team, or at the very least, I know that Sempra definitely did run this team. It's a pretty strong team. It makes Urshifu-Rapid just a really terrifying threat, and it's honestly a really hard team to deal with offensively, specifically because it's Gholdengo Rain. That's always going to be pretty threatening. Yep, here we go. Perfect. Okay. So in terms of my lead, that Urshifu will be kind of annoying, but I can definitely muscle it. I'm going to lead off with Rillaboom and Zapdos. I think it's a strong lead into this core, and especially going for that Fake Out again just right into Urshifu will be very, very hard for them to deal with. I'm going to bring the... I think this might be the Landorus game, actually. Terraflying Lando could be kind of hard here. But at the same time, though, I don't know if I want to bring it. I'm going to go with Flutter Mane and Heatran. I think I can't lie. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go with Flutter Mane and Heatran. I think it's a little safer. Lando's not bad here by any means for that Amoonguss. My issue, though, is the fact that I think, realistically, there's not a world where that Amoonguss goes for Tera, because going for Tera still makes it pretty weak to Zapdos, and that's a really hard mon for their team to deal with. I think, frankly, I have more of a chance of going for Tera on Heatran than I do on Lando, and Lando is so bad without Tera this game. Really, the only things it's good for are the non-Tera mons, but I don't think that Gholdengo comes against my team for the record, and Hands will probably be the Tera mon of choice here, specifically after they kill Zapdos. Now, they do go with the Hands and Urshifu lead. It's honestly fine. What I'm going to proceed to do is I'm going to go for a Tailwind here, and I'm going to go for a Fake Out into their Iron Hands. Specifically, this is to stop a Fake Out into my Zapdos. Meanwhile, I don't care what Urshifu actually goes for here. The worst thing he could do is go for U-turn into my Rillaboom, and I'm fine with making that trade. They are going to go for U-turn into my Rillaboom. Perfect. See, it's not even a 3-hit kill after terrain, so that's perfectly fine for me. Meanwhile, their hands doesn't stop my Tailwind, and I get a speed advantage here. So I think I kind of win that exchange, in my opinion. My Tera on Zapdos looks a lot better next turn, albeit it's still not great because of the Iron Hands, but it's a lot better. They do actually bring in the Amoonguss here, which is perfect. I actually do have a really good turn into this, because what I can actually manage to do, I can go for this, so they don't have Protect on this Amoonguss. I actually guarantee get a free Hurricane this turn, plus Drum Beating. The logic being is if they go for Tera Water, Drum Beating will KO. If they don't go for Tera Water, Hurricane will KO. If they switch out into anything else, the only mon that takes this combination is Gholdengo, and that means they reveal their full hand, which means they're lacking both Pelipper and Qianpao. And frankly, either one of those probably still drops this anyway. So I'm pretty confident actually in this play. I should guarantee pick my kill here because of the lack of Protect in this mon. Unless if they've made adaptations to the team, which in that case, this tells us that they've made adaptations to the team, which is also really good information. So Hurricane does go off here. Drum Beating should still KO, albeit that had a little more health than I thought. Perfect. Okay, that KOs. Alright, so you killed the Amoonguss. Killing Amoonguss is really good, actually. This opens up Flutter Mane really well because that Gholdengo is pretty easily muscled, thankfully, by Flutter Mane, considering the fact that they don't have Tailwind on this team. That Urshifu will be a little bit of a problem, but at the same time, though, I do have my Zapdos. I could still probably pivot Rillaboom, and on top of that, I have Tera and Heatran, which Tera Heatran will go so hard in this endgame now. So I'm actually pretty okay with this. They're gonna bring in, I think this is Urshifu. No, it's Pelipper. Okay, so they have no POW, and they have no Gholdengo. That's really, honestly, fine for me. What I'm gonna proceed to do, they're not Tera Electric. That's perfect. Okay, we're gonna go for this, and then I'm gonna go for the U-turn here. Now they do have Rocky Helmet. I'm okay with making that exchange because frankly, there's no real reason to go for Drain Punch into, oh, they go for Protect. Okay, that's fine. I don't really care. Rillaboom isn't that important right now, and even if they're stalling through Tailwind, they can't really break my Zapdos that well. Especially because their Iron Hands will have to go for like a Thunder Punch, or I think this one's Wild Charge actually, which means they're taking a shit ton of damage. They're AV Hands, so they can't Sword Stance through this. Drain Punch is whatever, it's pretty negligible damage, and I can definitely bring in Blood Rain here very confidently actually. There's no real reason to try and expend any energy on taking this out. Oh shit, my Joy-Con is, what's going on with my Joy-Con? Well, my Joy-Con is not connecting for some reason. I don't know why. I'm gonna slide this on and slide it back off. Please work now, Joy-Con. Oh my goodness. Joy-Con connect. Oh my goodness, Joy-Con connect. Joy-Con connect. What the fuck? Oh my goodness. There's no way this is happening right now. Okay, that's awful. I need to try and connect my side controller. What the fuck? I need to hope it connects is the thing. Because I need to bring in specifically Flutter Mane here. What the fuck? There's no way this is happening right now. Did my Joy-Con really die on me? There's no way. What the fuck? I think that brings in Flutter Mane, and I mean, thankfully, so that first move should be clean. The issue being, though, is if that's like a Flutter Mane here. Give me 1 second, actually, because I'm going to try and see if I can... I have a backup Joy-Con right on here. Let me just leave this on here for a second. Let me just leave this other one on here for a second. This is so ass. Like, holy shit, this is terrible. For what it's worth, so, okay, so I guess what moves are going to get clicked here? Because this is now turned into a game of what the fuck is getting clicked. I think it's Thunderbolt, and I'm pretty sure it's Gleam, which should actually be a pretty fine lock, if that's the case. But I'd be lying if I said that was ideal. We're going to lose Flutter Mane here for sure. But at least it didn't click Wide Guard, because that would have at least made Flutter Mane go down in vain, which is a lot worse for me. I'm trying to connect my Joy-Con at the very least, or something. I'm trying to connect something here. I'm gonna actually lose this game because of that. Holy shit. Yep, okay, so we're losing Flutter Mane 100% this turn, which sucks because I could have actually tired that and went for like a Moonblast plus Hurricane. And that would have been great to kill their hands. I'm now gonna actually be in a position where I can lose this game, which sucks. It really sucks. Okay. Let me try and just reconnect controllers for a second and hope that I don't disconnect. Change grip in order. Let me see if that will work and I will not disconnect doing this because I need to see if that will even be an option. If I disconnect, I'm just cutting the game. Because again, I need to fucking, there we go. Okay, thank God. Oh my goodness. Perfect. Okay. So at least have an option. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that earlier, but holy shit. That is the worst timing for this. I'm so upset by that because I'm going to unironically be playing so downhill because of that turn. So we're going to just Thunderbolt kill this. I'm going to go for the Tera. Actually, I'm not going to go for the Tera. I'm going to go for Protect. Because I want to deem Urshifu able to, well, to force itself into Surging Strikes here. My concern. Which, to be fair, I guess it'd probably be forced into Surging Strikes or Close Combat either way. I'm gonna try and force the Surging Strikes. Heatran can still definitely win this, for the record. It's definitely still fairly winnable. They're gonna Tera on Zapdos, I think. Yep, not Zapdos. Pelipper. I'm still stricken up. They actually did make changes. Okay, so this is Tera Ghost, so they have changed the team. They've definitively changed the team, because it's supposed to be Tera Steel Pelipper. Not a huge deal. It really doesn't change my endgame. But oh my goodness. This is definitely a lot harder than it has to be. Okay, that still does half. Frankly, this is whatever. They have Tailwind in this Pelipper. That might be a problem. Specifically, if they're not Scarf Urshifu, that might be a problem. Actually, wait, this isn't a huge deal. Okay. So, what I need to do, I need to go for... I need to go for Hurricane here. And I need to go for Terra Grass, and I need to go for Earth Power into the Iron Hands now. I kind of need to hope that this turn specifically, they do not click Hurricane. If they click anything else, the next turn I can make this work, because Earth Power will not kill hands. I'm just looking to get damage off. And then we should be fine. Also, I'm hoping that my game capture didn't cut out. I'm just realizing now it's saying 3 minutes into a recording, which means that when I pulled my Switch up, it probably disconnected at some point. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to fucking figure that out. Okay, they go for Protect. Honestly, Protect is whatever on Pelipper. I don't really mind a ton. Because I can go for Protect on Heatran next turn, stall through their Tailwind even further. And then I'm fine. Okay. So, Earth Power should still be good damage, objectively. Yeah, that's okay damage. That's whatever. Holy shit. I'm so tilted. I'm so sorry that I can't offer, like, competent commentary right now. I'm so tilted about the fact that the reason I'm gonna probably lose this game, if I lose it, is going to be because my Joy-Con died mid-recording. Oh my goodness. That's such an awful way to lose the game. Because I don't know if I could even beat the Pelipper confidently anymore. It's not gonna be a terrible game. But I'd be lying if I said I felt good about how I can win this one. Because I now need to... So specifically the plays I need to make, I need to go for dual target into that Pelipper with Heat Wave plus Thunderbolt. Because that's my way to kill it. Because thankfully Rain is gone this turn. So I need to go for Heat Wave plus Thunderbolt and hope that they just give me the turn. Because I'll definitely outpace the Pelipper. I'm not concerned with that. But I can't let it get a Hurricane off is my issue. Because if I let that get the Hurricane off, I lose the game. Which again, I wouldn't have been in that position if I could have targeted the hands immediately, like I wanted to do. Because hands was that much of a threat. And it's not that it was a threat in front of like my team, it's a threat in front of Flutter Mane, which is why I didn't want to immediately pop that. And the Gleam specifically. It wasn't a terrible play, but being locked in the Gleam did kind of suck for Wide Guard Pelipper, which I guess they don't even have. Or if because they have her, well, either that or they're lacking the water, and we can either way, that's fine. Okay. So they're gonna go for Drain Punch. That's perfectly okay. That's fine. Okay. So I'm pretty sure they lose Tailwind this turn, which is also fine. Again, my play always still needs to be Thunderbolt the Pelipper, and then go for... Okay, perfect. Tailwind petered out. So my play is always still just go for the Pelipper, and then go for Heat Wave. It's a little bit inconvenient for sure, but it's kind of the only play I have. They're gonna go for Wide Guard. Whatever. I can kill the Pelipper at least. Or at least get pretty close. At this point, the bare minimum, Pelipper should get in range, even if it doesn't die to Thunderbolt. It died to Thunderbolt anyway, perfect. Okay, I was gonna say, if it doesn't die to Thunderbolt, at the very bare minimum, I can stop going for the dual targets this turn, because I needed to go for the dual targets in case of Protect. So they did lack a water move. They cut a water move from this thing. So they made some actual changes, which I do fuck with that. I think the changes arguably are pretty good for best of one. But it's definitely still something that I was not accounting for. I got way too in my head about. Okay, this is fine. My Zapdos is still humming. I think I could still actually make this work very confidently. I'd be lying if I said I thought it was going to be easy. But thankfully with the turn positioning, I actually do think my Heatran will outpace the Urshifu if it's Scarfed. Which it should be Scarfed. I'm pretty confident that it's Scarfed still. Oh, well. My play is always the same. It's always go for Thunderbolt, and it's always go for Earth Power. I don't really have a better play than this. My goal is just to kill the Heatran, immediately kill the Heatran. Not the Heatran, the Urshifu, which we outpaced with Zapdos anyway. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why I thought that my Heatran was faster. I made this whole sequence of plays thinking Heatran was faster. I knew Zapdos was faster, but I kept thinking Heatran was faster. This is still very fine though, because Zapdos has to get Wild Charge, meaning they're taking Free Quill on top of the fact they're also taking Helmet. I can Roost through this anyway, but even still, they're gonna die next turn to Earth Power. So I've actually won the game. I panicked over this whole situation with my Joy-Con dying, and I won the game anyway. It made the game a lot harder than it had to be, which I guess good for the stakes for the video, but holy shit, that was so terrifying. They lost communication anyway. Great. So we couldn't even finish the game that I had to go through all of that headache for. I've never been more pissed at specifically just circumstances. Not even the game itself was fine. My opponent played that really well for the matchup, which I don't think was that great for them, frankly. But oh my god, I'm so upset with this situation. I'm upset that that game finished how it did because of the fact that I had to fucking go through hell fixing my controller. Fuck my Joy-Con for dying. I'm never using the Joy-Cons again as handheld. For now on controller only. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe for more. Tera Heatran, kind of dumb. We'll be using more mons. I gotta change my thumbnail for this video though. Oh my goodness. If memberships, yes, better note to end on memberships. If you want to become a channel member today, a couple dollars a month, we're bringing streams back. I'm gonna try and stream later tonight actually. If I can't, it will be tomorrow. And then we're going to have definitively on Tuesday before the DLC, we're going to have a stream where we're going to be building with the new DLC month and trying getting some teams worked out. This month's channel members, of course, are Zeke, Mia, Timo Mueller, Sam, Rao Plays, Ovo, Johannes Speed, Double, Endless Gadgets, and Bam Bambi. Your guys' support in the channel is greatly appreciated. There's currently a poll up right now if you want to vote. We're going to be giving that another 3 hours after this video goes live. And then, well, at some point today, it's probably gonna be roughly 3 hours before I start working on that script. Currently, Clefairy has the majority vote, but it is pretty close with that and Como. Meanwhile, Mandabuzz, Enelo, and Ninetales have no votes. So if you want to get your vote in, there are currently still 5 of you who owe votes. So you have a few hours to do that. With that said, I will see you guys tomorrow for hopefully just a better set of games. Peace out, guys.